Have you ever noticed that it's fairly rare to see a good looking man? Whereas if you look at like girls, like there's fairly good looking girls you see down the streets, but you don't really see that in the other gender. And I think this is because it's actually harder to look good as a man compared to a woman. Being a Chad has a lot of failure points. Like if you don't have this or you don't have that, then you're kind of out of the Chad category. It's pretty damn unforgiving. The thing that's probably coming to your mind right now is height, right? A lot of like dating apps have like women that will have in their bio that don't swipe right if you're under this height, usually like 6 foot, right? But you never see a man discriminate average or short women. Like that's just not really a thing. And even like the more micro details to beauty for men and women, it's a lot more loose for women. As in like there's a lot of ways that a woman can look good, but there's like a cookie cutter mold that you have to fit through as a man to be a good looking guy. An example of this is body composition. If you're an overweight man, it's kind of a death sentence for your looks. A lot of your looks as a man is really determined by having a lean body composition. When I was a chubby kid, you can see in like my old passport photo, like it's just this perfect sphere, right? And there's like this tiny little face in the middle there. No sign of a jawline, no sign of angles, no dimorphic features, just like this amorphous blob. And despite that, I had a jawline underneath that, but because I was fat, like it just totally removed that. All the masculine features you have are contingent on you being lean. You know, you can't see your abdominal muscles if you're not lean. You can't see your, cap delts if you're not lean. You can't see a jawline or like your ramus, your straight ramus or hollow cheeks. Like male beauty is so reliant on being at a relatively low body fat percentage that women just don't have to worry about. And frankly, women just look better at a higher body fat percentage than men. Since a lot of female dimorphism, being chubby or fat or overweight doesn't take away from it. A girl doesn't really need to have a sharp jawline or hollow cheeks. And in fact, like if we're talking about like the actual body, like hips, ass, and breasts, right? Higher body fat can often just improve these areas. As long as the waist is relatively small, right? A woman can absolutely look good, even though she might have an overweight BMI. Men don't have any such luxuries. There's such a thing as a BBW, but there's no BBM. And while we're on the topic of being fat, I feel like with men, we suffer a lot more from being overweight than women. If you ever look at like a chubby girl, even though she's like obviously overweight, you can still see that she's got good health markers a lot of the time. They have poreless skin or minimal blemishes. Like it's very like soft texture. And on the other hand, when you look at an overweight man, they look like they're dying. They have like this big red head from like high blood pressure. They have like giant pores on like their forehead and nose. Like they look greasy somehow all the time. It just looks like their body is like really struggling to maintain a overweight body. Check out this girl. She's probably over 250 pounds, and yet despite that, she has flawless skin. Like it literally looks like she's never had a pimple or blackhead in her entire life. There is no way an obese man would have skin this good. Using myself as an example, like look at me here. Look how bad my skin is. Clearly my body does not like me being overweight. Whereas like, I feel like if I was a woman, I wouldn't look that bad if I was that overweight, you know what I'm saying? And even individual features on the face are a lot more forgiving for women than they are for men. For instance, here's a picture of a girl with thin eyebrows. Here's a picture of a girl with thick eyebrows. Now, I think it's fair to say that both of these faces are good looking faces. Despite one having thin eyebrows and one having thick eyebrows, both of these women, I think, are at least like a 7, right? Now, what about for men? Okay, well, here's a man that has thin eyebrows. Here's a man that has thick eyebrows. The difference is night and day. Good luck being above a 7 out of 10 as a man if you have thin eyebrows. It's not gonna happen. And there's a lot of things like this where like men have a much more strict set of criteria they have to meet to be good looking. There's like a lot of ways to like skin the cat if you're a girl. You can play very loose and fast with the rules as a woman and still end up looking pretty good or above average. And it's just not that way with men. And even like culturally, right? Like I know I'm running like a looks maxing channel and like I speak about looks and how to improve XYZ, and I'm not the greatest example of this, but culturally there's like a stigma against men improving their looks in like a artificial or like purposeful way. Whereas for women, it's totally encouraged. They grow up with like this knowledge and like they accumulate. And just go into like any shopping mall. The first floor is basically like a football pitch of just makeup studios. It's insane. It's all just stuff for women to look better. Like every single shopping mall, it's just like that. Like the amount of like mental bandwidth the average woman puts into their looks absolutely dwarfs men. And as a man, there's like more of like a stigma for trying to improve your looks. Like it gets absolutely absurd to the point where like just very like basic like tier 1 like looks maxing for like men is discouraged, like skin moisturizers or like, you know, using like a sunscreen to like not damage your skin in the long run. Like just like really like basic like stage 1 shit, it gets discouraged in men. Of course, it's going to be rarer to see a physically attractive man because the incentive structure of society like turns men against it. On my Patreon, I made a few videos about how to specifically improve your looks, and I put a few videos up there that aren't quite intuitive that you probably don't know about, including talk of surgery and various chemicals to use. So you can go check that out in the link in the description below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe for more.